r/ask Reddit, posted by u/cambium7. What are your stories of running from the cops, either on foot or in a vehicle? Admiral Bofa, middle dot. At university, we had bike cops. Their main job was writing tickets to bicyclists for not having headlights or running stop signs. I was riding home with my roommate one night, without a light, and we ran a stop sign. We heard a cop yell, "Hey! Stop!" My roommate put his head down and started sprinting out of there. I didn't really want to talk to the cop either, so I did the same thing. The cop yelled a lot at first, but soon decided to save his breath for the pursuit. We opened the distance and made it home, about a mile away. Both of us carried our bikes upstairs and put them inside the apartment, changed our shirts and went out to look for the cop. It was many years ago, but I assume the same cop is still wandering the neighborhood to this day saying, "Sir, pant, stop." Middle dot. On Baca in Montreal, where I learned they crack down on jaywalkers. I crossed a street against the light and a cop in a nearby car pointed at me and indicated to come over. I pretended not to see him and kept walking. Then, when I was about halfway down the one-way street, doubled back while the car presumably went around the block, and I took a more roundabout way to my destination. For the next 20 minutes I was scared a cop was going to grab me for resisting. r/stories gone wild, posted b.y.u/deleted. Almost caught in the crossfire of a famous Toronto rapper's death yesterday. Witnessed a shooting of a locally famous rapper yesterday. I, am 17, was walking in downtown Toronto yesterday near King and Bathurst. For any Toronto PPL in this sub, I'll mention the streets to get a better visualization of what I saw, and ate at the Wilbur Mexicana burrito place near the intersection. After I finished eating, I walked north on King Street with my friends and heard 6 loud bangs. I thought nothing of it at first because downtown Toronto is filled with homeless PPL banging garbage cans and doing weird stuff now that no one's on the streets because of COVID and the police is less worried about regulating the homeless PPL and redirecting them away from families and the general public. I then looked over and saw the aftermath of the shooting of Toronto rapper Houdini, who I was personally a fan of. I didn't know it was him until I turned on the news later that night. But I keep thinking to myself, if I finished eating just seconds earlier and saw him on the street, I definitely would have recognized him and gone up to him to ask for a picture. Then I could have easily been in the crossfire of the shooting. An unassociated bystander was hit during the shooting, and it could have easily been me. I'm pretty in shock 16 hours later and can't stop thinking what could have happened if my day went the slightest bit faster. r/story time. Posted by u/koashes. The time I almost got in trouble for being racist. A couple years back I worked as a waitress in a tourist area. I'm not from the US, but we got many people from there. This night 4 girls came in, American. Believe it or not, it was 1 black, Asian, white and Latina. They were all the same age. Anyway, it's all going fine. But at the end of their meal they asked to separate the bill. I figured this would happen, so in my notepad I had already separated the food by person, but I labeled them based on the color of their shirts. Guess what the colors were? Black, yellow, white and brown. As most of you know, sometimes you have to give a name in the POS system, which ours did. So, I label the orders based on their shirts. When they got their tickets they freaked. Obviously, they were taking pictures, and when I went to them they demanded I explain myself. I was mortified. It was a rush night, so it didn't even cross my mind. I explained myself, and even asked them if they read the tickets because the ticket labeled white does not match with what the white girl ordered. They calmed down and we eventually had a laugh. I was shaking for the rest of my shift though. r/stories gone wild. Posted by u/ktike795. Shit thrower. It all started at a Christian summer camp. This girl I knew in high school, let's call her Gabby, worked at this camp I grew up going to as a kid for one summer. Gabby was part of camp family. There also was a known hottie at camp, let's call him Brian. Now Brian was in charge of maintenance on the campground. He received a call that one of the toilets in camp family's cabin was clogged. This toilet was clogged by, you guessed it, Gabby. Gabby was terrified that hot Brian had to come and unclog her shit. She didn't want hot Brian seeing her big turd. Rather than just own her shitty mistake, she proceeds to reach her bare hand into the toilet, grab her shit, run through the camp. r/stories. Posted by you/Rayakri. The stranger who saved my life. When I was just a teenager, I found myself in a very dark place. I was struggling with depression and had even attempted suicide. I felt completely alone and like there was no way out. One day, while I was walking to school, I saw a man sitting on the side of the road. He looked to be homeless and was holding a sign that simply read "Everything will be okay." I remember feeling a twinge of anger and frustration, thinking how could this person possibly know what I'm going through? But something made me stop and talk to him. We talked for hours that day, and he listened to my story with such kindness and understanding. He didn't have much to offer in the way of material things, but he gave me something far more valuable: hope. That man saved my life. He showed me that there is always a reason to keep going, and that there are people out there who care. I will never forget the stranger who gave me a reason to live. Thanks for reading this. I hope you are all good today and the next days. r/story S4. Posted by you/otherwise success 509. A phone call from heaven. I had a dream that my dad phone called me. He asked me how I was doing and told me that he had never been happier. Then I woke up at 3 a.m. and remembered that he died 2 years ago. I think I just spoke to my dad from heaven.